Dude, I react every day. I react, oh my God, I react every day. But the fundamental question is, how long are you going to react? So shortening the refractory period of your emotional reactions is that kind of intelligence where we're keeping ourselves out of the past. Justified, valid or not, the only person that that's affecting is you. Well, if you can't control that emotional reaction, then you're a junkie. And you're on a bad trip, and you're overdosing. But if you know that you're overdosing, you got to get beyond your rational mind, because you'll say, why are you this way? Oh, because I should. All right, by you doing that, is it making more of those chemicals? Yeah, why were you doing that? To make you feel more like it's justified. So then, this takes, listen, I excuse myself many times in one day.
Because you'll be, I'm in a reaction mode,
like,
let me step
I'm like,
aside.
are you, like, I'll be like, are you kidding me? What did they do? And then I'll be like, oh, we're not gonna make a decision
in this state.
So give me a minute.
Oh, wow.
I go, take a few breaths, get out of that state, remember my future, where I'm going. It's so much more important than the present moment. I just gotta condition my body into that future. And now it takes sometimes a Herculean effort, I have to tell you. You can ask my staff. I'll be in there 15, 20, 30 minutes. Sometimes I'll say it took me an hour. But
to get back to a peaceful state.
In the expanse of all eternity, if I don't overcome that emotion, then I'm in my past, and that's karma, because that emotion's gonna drive my behaviors and thoughts, and I'm gonna be predictable. My past is gonna look, my future's gonna look a lot like my past. So if I'm soulfully on the journey, then what matters the most is being able to learn the skill of self-regulation. So in our events, when we see people that can do brain and heart coherence, they know the formula. Well, I look at their brain scans and I'm like, Lewis, great brain. Hey, I see you can hold that heart coherence for 45 minutes. Great, now let's put you on a pole at 55 feet in the air. Let's get a heart rate monitor on you and let's see what you're gonna do up there. Do you wanna be able to self-regulate there? Because if you can there, it's not like I'm trying to give you an adrenaline rush. Actually, I'm trying to do the opposite. I want you to settle your brain and body back down, go against thousands of years of programming like fear, and teach your body in that moment how to regulate. I guarantee you, if you go a little further than what you did and you stay conscious, and instead of throwing in a program and rushing through it and trying to get it over with, you start breathing, you start getting back in your heart, you start getting centered, you work against those chemicals, I guarantee you when you walk into your life, the moment you see something doing, you're gonna catch on right away. You're gonna catch yourself. Now that saves you a lot of energy and a lot of time, because if you're able to change it then instead of 4 hours later, where you're just gone,
or you've already reacted.
Yeah, and you've done things you say I should have never done that. I should have never said that. That's what those emotions do, because those emotions make us really primitive. Really primitive. We're either going to we're going to become antagonistic and angry and aggressive. We're going to run and fear, or we're going to hide.
The moment we switch on that system for alert or for emergency, we alter ourselves in some way, and all of that response that we have to an environment that we perceive as threatening or dangerous pretty much causes us to move out of balance. And when you're out of balance, you're in survival. And when you're in survival, you want to rush to get things done. You can't be present. You know, you believe everything equal to the feeling of fear or hostility, because information is relevant to you in that emotional state. So teaching people then that they have some type of control over that sympathetic response, that emergency system that switches on, is preparing you for something you can't predict. Something that's an unknown, something that you can't control. And that survival system causes us to move more into our animal nature. And we're tapping our body's vital resources for health and regeneration. So short term, it's great, but you keep doing it over and over again, you start becoming more and more conditioned to that rush of energy. So teaching people how to self-regulate, teaching them how to move back into the present moment, teaching them that they can shorten their responses. It's really not that you react. I mean, we all react. The question is, how long are you going to react for? Because if you keep that reaction going, then you can't perceive any change in your environment, you won't have any ability to heal. So you become more affected by your environment. So simple process of getting back into the present moment, self-regulating, trading that fear for some other emotions.
Yeah.
And that's doing the work and
Right.
the practice. And that's what we should be doing, because now we have energy to heal. We have energy for growth and repair. We have energy to create now. And we're not losing energy now. We're gaining energy. And that signals the immune system, as we talked about, and that's what causes T cells to make antibodies and antigen, the immunoglobulins that fight antigens, and now your internal defense system can take care of the micro world, where there are invaders, where there are attackers, and you have energy to heal. And your immune system, as we said, is always combating viruses and bacteria, and if you're less responsive to your environment emotionally, then you're less responsive to your environment physically, and you have more energy. And people just need to know the information, because that empowers them to begin to make different choices. And now that you know, you can apply knowledge and make a different choice, demonstrate a different behavior, create a new experience, and that new experience creates a new emotion. Wow, then all of a sudden now you start learning new things, and you start stepping away from your old self, and that's what you want people to do. Biology changes. When I do react, though, part two of my answer was that I always take a moment and I step back. I have to disengage from whoever I'm talking to. I have to step away from whatever I'm doing. Break my routine and step away long enough to just remember that I'm disconnecting from the energy that I'm using to create a new future, and I'm back into a familiar energy that's connected to my past, and I've lost my ability to stay connected to it because a circumstance has altered my feelings and my thoughts. So I remember that. That's not a conversation you normally want to have with yourself when you think somebody's doing something to you, right? But I know the alternative just leads to a day that spirals downward. So then I close my eyes, or I step away for a minute, and I just put my attention back in my heart. And the first thing I work on is changing the way I breathe, to become conscious, moving the body out of danger, out of threat, teaching it how it can be safe again, to self-regulate, to slow it down into the present moment and start breathing. And when you slow your breath down, you slow your brain waves down. When you slow your brain waves down, you're slowing down the system of arousal, and your heart actually influences that. So then once I feel my connection to my heart, then I start thinking about the emotions that I'm using to create that future, whether it's gratitude, whether it's freedom, whether it's awe, or a mystical moment, or whatever. And I just bring up that energy back into my heart, and I tune in to that energy that I've become familiar with, because I do it enough times. And I remember I'm connecting to the energy of my future again. And I can do it sometimes in literally a minute or two.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Takes an hour.
It takes me an hour, but I'm going to do my best to get there. We've done research on gratitude, and it's very interesting, because when you receive something, you've just received something. When something's happening to you, or something just happened to you that's favorable, you feel this feeling of gratitude. So the emotional signature, its signature emotionally means something just happened to you, or something is happening to you. So your body is so objective that it doesn't know the difference between an experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you can fabricate by thought alone. To the body, it's so objective, it's exactly the same. So when people start to feel gratitude, their body is believing that something favorable is going to happen to them, that is happening to them, or has already happened to them.
Really?
The emotional signature of gratitude is the perfect signature or the state of energy to receive. So So when we begin to embrace our future and we feel gratitude for it, we will believe that future is more of a reality because it's equal to the emotion that we're experiencing. But we're feeling the emotion before the actual event occurs. So gratitude, in a sense, you could use it to elevate your energy. And when you do, just 10, 15 minutes a day, you'll strengthen your immune system by 50%.
Wow. Just by having gratitude for 10, 15 minutes.
Just because your body starts to put energy right in your heart center. And there's a gland in there that we talked about in your show called that gland that has an endocrinological aspect and an immunological aspect. And it begins to signal chemicals that tells your T cells, strengthen. You've got energy to like modify and create more receptors for anything coming out. And now your inner environment is doing that, and your T cells make these antibodies, these immunoglobulins that are the body's natural flu shot. It's proteins that protect cells, especially immune cells. And now you have an internal army, an internal order that will be greater than the environment. And now you have strength, you know, and you, from a suggestibility standpoint, you only accept, believe, and surrender to thoughts equal to your emotional state. So if people are in fear, then the information that comes in equal to fear, they will begin to resonate with or relate with because it's equal to that emotion. So they'll accept the information, they'll believe the information, they'll surrender to the information without ever analyzing it. And that programs us into certain limited behaviors. So then when you feel gratitude, the thoughts that you think, the dreams that you create, the behaviors that you demonstrate.
Preach it.
You begin to feel the future. Now something else happens. You start creating a huge change in the information, and you program your autonomic nervous system to program your body to become that future. And people are doing it.